this is the second part of the demonstration of the Forust Manufacturing Model 2054 bandsaw. I apologize for the background noise, but we are in a factory here. We have a test cut specimen here. This is a piece of double wall corrugated ultra high molecular weight polyethylene plastic pipe used for strain, storm drainage, culvert, that kind of thing. A very common product our customers are cutting, so I have a lot of it sitting around, so I'm using that as a demonstration piece here. We've already staged the cut for you, but I'll give a couple of quick demo pieces here. The fence here, electronic digital readout, so move it where you want it. The fence is meant as a positioning aid. That is, put the fence where you want it, move the workpiece up against the fence. Recommend against using the fence to move a workpiece. People do it, but it's hard on the gear rack, so people might say push a workpiece up against here, crank this to move it, index it right till they get the thickness they need. For light pieces, it's fine. If you throw something that weighs 2,000 pounds up here, not so fine. So primarily intended as a positioning aid, as a reference point, but people do use it to move the workpiece. Just know that you're going to be hard on the machinery when you do that. We have a laser guideline light here showing. It's not dead lined up. We always have to take that off prior to shipping, otherwise they get stolen, so we didn't put a lot of care into lining it up. But you can see it'll show you where on the workpiece you're cutting. Right now we're trying to go through the center of one of these corrugations. We block this workpiece in with magnets, my favorite workpiece positioning system. Heavier workpieces, just throw them up on the table and cut, no problem at all. Lighter workpieces, something like this, that'll roll away. We like to use the magnets just to lock it into position. As I mentioned before, we can run this saw off the panel face or the pendant, but you only have control of the advanced speed using this potentiometer here at the end of the pendant. And so I can walk around, view the cut from any angle, and control the speed dynamically. I'll zoom in just a little bit here. And of course, as a safety matter, the operator is setting up the cut, standing back here to operate. The machine is set up such as the saw motor, controls are here, table forward to turn and stop, laser, don't need the laser, turn it off. It doesn't hurt anything, just don't look at it. It's a, I forget the class laser, but it's the one that's not going to blind you immediately. Appropriate warning stickers are provided. Important feature here, you can move the table forward and reverse without the saw running. In the return direction, it'll seal in. As you press the return button once, it'll keep going all the way until it hits the home position. Home position being determined by a mechanical rocker arm limit switch. In the forward direction, if the saw blade motor is running, then you can press the forward button and the table will advance continuously. You don't have to press and hold the forward button until it hits the limit switch on the far side, the away position. Then it'll stop the table and stop the blade automatically. But because we don't want you running the workpiece into the blade if the blade's not moving, when the blade is not moving, you can advance the table forward direction. That's dead slow, but only as long as you're holding the button down. Release the button, table stops. Start the blade motor, press the forward button, and we'll keep going until you hit the limit switch on the far side. So we'll just knock out a quick cut here just to demonstrate what it does. This is the maiden cut for this saw, so I don't know the appropriate feed speed for this workpiece. So what I'll do is what I expect any operator will do. I'll start the saw blade motor. I'll set the table speed at 0. I'll start the table in the forward direction, then I'll slowly increase the table speed to advance the workpiece and make the cut. And then I'll control it dynamically depending on how things are going. Tubes are always kind of a hard thing to cut because they're hollow in the middle, and the section profile, the profile of the section you're cutting is variable. Sometimes you're cutting very little material, sometimes you're cutting quite a bit of material. So I'm going to stand over here to control the cut. This gives me the best view. So start the blade, start the table. I'm going to use a high speed to get it close to the blade. Then I'm going to back off as it gets close and ease into the workpiece. Like I say, I don't know the cutting characteristics of this material, so I'm going to be very careful with it. The blade I'm using today is a 1/2 inch wide, 3 tooth per inch. It's a good do-all blade, much more powerful than you would expect. Oh, I'm going to do one thing here. I should have done this before. I'm going to adjust the position of the guidepost. And I've already got the machine halfway across, so ideally I position this when the table's in the forward or home position. I can reach up here without getting on the saw, but unlock. Move this into position, lock it in. Normally there's a guard here. The guard is removed right now while we are working this machine. It ships with the guard, and I don't recommend you run it without, but then I'm taking liberties here. So we have the guide just above the workpiece. Start. Table speed at 0. Forward direction. Increase the table speed, off 0. Start the cut. Just taking it nicely. I can get through it pretty good. I'm not working all that hard. Give it some more beans. Easy as that. You have here saw stop. I'll hit the big red button, just stops everything. And collect my prize. Nice, flat, pretty fast cut. And that's what the machine does.